So in yesterday's class, we discussed about what happens in the cellular events of your acute inflammation, and we also discussed phagocytosis. Now today we'll look at the morphology of acute inflammation. Now essentially, morphology of acute inflammation will refer to all the morphological changes or the changes that you can see uh, at cellular level or a tissue level that are occurring in an area which is undergoing inflammation. Okay, so there are five basic changes or five main changes that will occur in acute inflammation. Now, depending on the type of injury that is occurring, this may vary a little bit, and sometimes you might find combination of these morphological changes. Matlab, I'll explain in a bit how it works. So, morphology of acute inflammation. Okay, first change will be something called pseudomembranous inflammation. Okay, pseudomembranous inflammation is the result of seepage of plasma. ठीक है, essentially क्या होता है आपके blood vessel पे, let's suppose this is the endothelial layer and the endothelium has been denuded at one particular layer. Let's suppose this is the inner layer of the blood vessel which is participating in inflammation. ठीक है, ये let's suppose this is an arteriole and यहाँ पर थोड़ा damage हुआ और the vessel got denuded here. Okay, denuded का मतलब कुछ damage हुआ यहाँ पर and this is the location where plasma is flowing out essentially. ठीक है, in inflammation you will see that plasma is flowing out from several places, but imagine we are only focusing on this place exactly. Now what happens is because of an inflammatory response, especially inflammatory response of the mucous surface, this is occurring in your oral cavity, in your respiratory area, in your bowel cavity, especially to toxins of diphtheria. अगर किसी को डिप्थीरिया हुआ या फिर it might be an irritant gas, what will happen is as epithelium gets denuded, यहाँ पर things start to get coagulated. So essentially what will happen is यहाँ पर जो blood vessel है, imagine I put a toxin here like this. One second. ठीक है, let's suppose this is your normal epithelium and यहाँ पर एक toxin है. Imagine this is the cell space and we introduce a toxin like this. Imagine this is the toxin, ठीक है, diphtheria toxin or whatever toxin. Let's suppose it is a irritant gas or whatever. As it is coming into the tissue space, it will cause an inflammatory reaction. It will trigger an inflammatory reaction. And bear in mind, see, sometimes what happens is, in previous example in acute inflammation, I told you that a bacteria is coming into tissue space and it is triggering the reaction of inflammation. Correct? कभी कभी क्या होता है ये बैक्टीरिया essentially आ रहे blood vessel में से it is entering your blood vessel, it is entering circulation and it is going to some area where it is damaging tissue. Now in the transport of this bacteria, this fellow can also end up damaging the blood vessel, the layers of the blood vessel, because they are also technically living tissue, उसको भी damage हो सकता है. ठीक है. Now if we consider such a scenario, what will happen is this denuded epithelium, यहाँ पर जहाँ पर damage हुआ epithelium को, तो endothelium especially, what will happen is this area there will be coagulation यहाँ पर. Now you can see pseudomembranous inflammation even in tissue space, not just in blood vessel. मैं यहाँ पर blood vessel का example दे रहा हूँ. Let's suppose it might be easier for you to understand through a tissue. Let's suppose एक tissue में ये bacteria आया and यही tissue consider कर लो. ये let's suppose tissue है and इसमें बहुत सारे cells हैं. ठीक है? And one bacteria came and invaded in this space like this. ठीक है? Now this bacteria is creating havoc, it is creating damage and it is damaging the wall of the cell, so the cell which it has infected and it is spreading to other cells as well. यहाँ पर because of this damage, what happens is inflammatory process say already plasma is leaking out of the blood vessel and it is coming into tissue space. And you have to remember that sometimes along with plasma, a few proteins will come out and a few components of damage will come out like collagen. Okay? These things, what they do is they start coagulating this area. ये जो damaged cell है, यहाँ पर coagulation होने लगता. Specifically, if you see it in an image. Essentially, let's suppose someone's forearm got injured and वहां पर pseudomembranous inflammation हो रहा. How it will look is, it will essentially be like, let's suppose this is someone's forearm. Imagine this is someone's forearm and यहाँ पर ये लोकेशन पे pseudomembranous inflammation हो रहा. ठीक है? तो this is a hypothetical scenario, okay? अब यहाँ पर what you will see if you look very closely through an electron microscope, what you'll be able to see is that cells are getting damaged, and around that cell, dead cells, dead components, dead tissue that is getting coagulated. Because it is dead tissue, it is essentially dead protein. That fellow will start getting accumulated. Macrophages will start getting accumulated. Neutrophils आके जमा हो जाते हैं वहाँ पर. The plasma is getting exuded. And when plasma especially starts getting exuded onto the surface, onto this surface यहाँ पर, what will happen is, because it is proteinaceous, it will start forming a film around it. ठीक है? वो प्लाज्मा के अराउंड एक pseudo film बनने लगती. ठीक है? Thin film will be formed like this. That essentially makes a pseudo membrane, and there is debris of inflammation here, and there is essentially an inflammatory reaction occurring there. That is why the whole process is called pseudomembranous inflammation. Just to recap, there is damage to any particular area. यहाँ पर बैक्टीरिया से डैमेज हो रहा है या इरिटेंट गैस से डैमेज हो रहा है, किससे भी हो रहा. Normally it occurs on a mucosal surface. ठीक है? You can take any tissue, but more often than not, there is a response of mucosal surface. On the mucosal surface, what will happen is, as cells are getting damaged, plasma will start exuding out, macrophages will start entering the area, and that area becomes very proteinaceous. ठीक है? जो dead proteins है, क्या बोलते हैं, dead cell के components है. Technically, a cell is made up of your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So if proteins are released, think of it this way: if you just leave a liquid full of protein out, what will happen? It will coagulate. Same thing will happen here. यहाँ पर, especially on the surface, it will start hardening. That hardening surface will start looking like a film. Okay, it will be a pseudo film. It is not a true film. That process will be called pseudomembranous inflammation. That is one morphological feature of acute inflammation. That is something that you can see in inflammation of mucous layers, or you can see inflammation of other tissues as well. But more often than not, it will be in mucous tissue. ये mucosal surfaces पे होता है. समझ में आया? If you want me to repeat again, or if you want me to explain any particular aspect of this, please let me know, or else we'll move on to the next morphological feature. Okay. Then we have another one, which is ulcer. कभी-कभी क्या होता है? Onto the surface of whichever surface of any organ, inflammation will produce a local defect. It will produce a local, damage. I'll show you how an ulcer looks. This is how an ulcer looks. So यहाँ पर देखो, ये जो top के cells है, mucosa के cells है, they are getting damaged, and the ulcer is going deeper. It is going into submucosa as well. And sometimes what happens is, ulcers are very severe, and they might even enter your muscularis mucosa. Okay? And it will enter your muscularis layer, and sometimes there will be a clear-cut penetration towards your gut. That is a very, very serious situation. When what happens is, अब यहाँ पर stomach का ulcer बता रहे ना, the contents of your stomach will start releasing into your GIT, or into, other than your GIT, into your peritoneum specifically. So that is a very, very bad situation. वो भी होता कभी ulcer अगर बहुत severe हो गया तो. In certain cases, what happens is, inflammation may trigger the formation of ulcers. Okay? The common sites of ulcers would be your stomach, your duodenum, another common one is intestine, especially in case of typhoid fever, intestinal ulcers occur. Okay? Sometimes in case of intestinal tuberculosis, ulcers can be seen. Now, tuberculosis, when we study about tuberculosis, you learn that it is not just limited to lungs. It can spread all over your body, and it can have secondary effects called complications. Okay? One such complication of tuberculosis is ulcer, intestinal ulcer. कभी-कभी dysentery की वजह से ulcer होता, या फिर you can have ulcer of legs. People who have diabetes mellitus, severe diabetes mellitus, उन लोगों के अंदर ulcers होते, especially at the base of their foot or any other place. ठीक है? So ulcer is a result of very acute form of inflammation. Acute by this sense I am telling, it is occurring very rapidly, and it is quite progressive. Okay, that is the second morphological feature. If you look at the surface of an ulcer, what you will see is that that surface is getting damaged to such an extent that it is penetrating into deeper layers. Okay, it is literally creating a hole. That is an ulcer. If you ever enter into a surgery room, especially into what do you call a surgery of GIT, or let's suppose some patient who has ulcer and they are performing surgery on such patient, agar kar rahe, so then you'll be able to see. Or if you accidentally find one also, you'll be able to see exactly how an ulcer looks. Okay, you can just Google how it looks as well. You'll find videos on YouTube. Then the next one is suppuration. Suppuration क्या है? This is essentially abscess formation. Special type of abscess that too. Whenever there is bacterial infection, specifically acute bacterial infection, and when that acute bacterial infection has a lot of neutrophilic infiltrate, matlab, the same scenario when we were discussing about acute inflammation. अब यहाँ पर in case of acute inflammation, see, I took the example of bacteria. Okay, when I explained acute inflammation, I took the example of one bacteria infecting a cell, and I told you what is happening in the blood vessel and what is happening in the cellular area. That damage can be because of any other thing as well. It can be heat, it can be cold, it can be a bacteria, it can be a virus, it can be any other causative agent of injury that can trigger an inflammatory reaction. Okay? I only showed you one example. ऐसे बहुत सारे examples हो सकते हैं. So let's suppose someone is having an acute bacterial infection. ठीक है? ये tissue space में ऐसा bacteria आ गया, and in this space a lot of neutrophils are coming into the picture. You already know, as a part of vascular events, a lot of margination will occur, and a lot of neutrophils will start invading the area in hopes to kill that bacteria, or at least alert your immune system. Now, essentially, what happens is, as these neutrophils come, we flog this area, that cell will start undergoing necrosis. Okay, ये cell जो है, if it is not able to survive the attack of that bacteria, it will start undergoing necrosis. And because there is necrosis occurring, this cell is damaged beyond repair. And essentially what will happen is, there will be a cavity that is created. So cell की जगह पे, imagine there is a big tissue. Okay? Imagine it is a big ass tissue like this, and यहाँ पर बहुत सारे cells थे. Okay, imagine this is one cell, and this is one cell, and this is one other cell, and this is another cell, and this is another cell. Okay, as a part of tissue. Only give me an example of it. यहाँ पर and चलो ऐसा एक और cell था. Now in one of these cells, a bacteria came and invaded. Okay, that red vertical line represents a bacteria. This bacteria caused the death of that cell, or a bunch of cells as well. Let's suppose it caused the death of this cell, and this cell, and this cell. Okay, so it is affecting all the 4 cells. It is affecting 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because of this, what will happen is, these cells might undergo necrosis. And when they are undergoing necrosis, they are essentially dying, and their cellular components are degrading beyond repair. So, यहाँ पर क्या होता? There is a cavity formed. Essentially, there is an empty space formed, and in that cavity, generally what happens is, there will be a lot of pus being accumulated. Purulent exudate बोलते हैं उसको. ठीक है? ये जो cavity बन रही, उसके अंदर there will be a lot of purulent exudate being formed and being collected. Okay, that purulent exudate is essentially pus. Okay, that cavity along with pus is called an abscess. Okay, the whole process where you have a abscess formation with pus and all is called suppuration. I'll repeat once again. There is a bacteria that is infecting a tissue, and a few cells of that tissue, because of the bacterial reaction, they are undergoing necrosis. And वहाँ पर एक inflammatory reaction भी हो रहा. Okay, there is an inflammatory reaction going on because of, in response to the bacteria, your body is responding with inflammation. Along with dead tissue components, along with dead neutrophils, what will happen is, there is a cavity created in that area, and there will be pus filled in that area. That pus filled cavity will be called an abscess. and the whole process of abscess formation is called suppuration. Okay, so that is the third morphological feature of acute inflammation. Now it is not necessary that all of these three or four, whatever I'm going to tell, will occur in the same patient at the same time. Okay, sometimes one or the other might occur, and sometimes none of these might occur. But there is a chance that any one of them might occur. Four will be cellulitis. Now, cellulitis is a very severe form of diffuse inflammation, okay, especially of soft tissue. Now, what will happen in cellulitis is it will start spreading to other tissue, to nearby tissue. Think of it like necrosis, but not as severe as necrosis, but there will be significant cell damage. Show you one example how it looks. See this pinkish area, dark pinkish area that you are seeing, that is an area on the leg that has undergone cellulitis. Okay. Generally, it is common in patients who have diabetes. बहुत common रहता. If you go to a hospital and a patient has diabetes for a long time and they have a lot of comorbidities, there is a chance that they might have cellulitis already. Okay. This is still not as severe form. कभी कभी इतना severe रहता है कि these cells will start to die and you will literally see, you can see the bone. So you'll have living tissue and dead tissue covering the same leg. And you'll need to literally treat it as a wound and keep on dressing it because there is a chance that that wound can get infected as well. At this point, it is not infected. That the causative agent here might be diabetes or it might be some disease which is triggering that inflammatory reaction. But cellulitis can get infected by other microorganisms as well. There can be a fungal infection, protozoal, bacterial, कोई भी infection हो सकता है उसमें. That is why it is generally cleaned quite a lot. Okay, more often than not, what happens is bacterial infection hota, cellulitis hota, and there is a particular enzyme called hyaluronidase. Hyaluronidase जैसा spread होते जाता, वैसा cellulitis बढ़ते जाता. It will start covering a bigger area, essentially. Then the final morphological change that you see is bacterial infection. Infection in blood. Now there are 2-3 ways to categorize this bacterial infection in blood. Okay. Technically, it includes 3 conditions. One is bacteremia. Bacteremia is not such a bad condition. It is bad, but not as bad as some other condition that I'm going to discuss. Bacteremia में क्या होता? There is a small number of bacteria. Okay? The presence of a small number of bacteria which do not multiply significantly as well. They are just present in your blood. And if you directly try to look them up through a microscope, let's suppose you withdraw a little bit of blood, put the drop of blood on a microscope, electron microscope, and you try to see for those bacteria, search those bacteria, you'll not be able to search, you'll not be able to find them because the number is very, very minute. That condition will be called bacteremia. So essentially, there is a small colony of bacteria present inside the blood patient. That is bacteremia. Then we have septicemia. Septicemia में क्या होता? There is rapidly multiplying, highly pathogenic bacteria. Okay, you have pyogenic foci, you have bacilli of plague. Generally speaking, septicemia is accompanied with other systemic effects. You will have toxemia, wherein a lot of bacterial toxins are, getting accumulated in the patient's blood. The patient might have multiple small hemorrhages. These multiple small hemorrhages are the result of bacterial infection which are damaging several parts of your blood, blood vessels. जो कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम में बहुत सारे ब्लड वेसल्स है, जिधर जिधर ये बैक्टीरिया जा रहे हैं वहां वहां वो ब्लड वेसल को डैमेज कर रहे हैं, दे आर कॉजिंग हेमरेज. ठीक है. You might see neutrophilic leukocytosis. Cytosis is increase in cell number, penia is decrease in cell number. So neutrophilic leukocytosis will be sharp increase in neutrophil level. Okay, you'll start seeing that, and sometimes you'll also see coagulation, intravascular coagulation hone lagta. Those are all effects of septicemia. Septicemia mein there is a big colony of rapidly dividing, highly pathogenic bacteria, meaning very dangerous and very bacteria that divides very, very quickly is present inside your bacteria. In this scenario, you'll be able to see bacteria through a microscope. अगर बैक्टीरिया में आपको बैक्टीरिया डिटेक्ट करना है ब्लड में, देन यू विल हैव टू परफॉर्म अ कल्चर, ठीक है, कल्चर सेंसिटिविटी टेस्ट करना पड़ता। सेप्टिसीमिया में इवन विदाउट अ कल्चर सेंसिटिविटी यू कैन टेल दैट देयर इज बैक्टीरिया, you might not be able to recognize exactly what type it is, but you'll be able to tell that there is bacteria inside the blood, okay. Then finally we have a third condition, which is pyemia. अब pyemia में क्या होता, there is dissemination essentially means that it is spreading, ठीक है. Dissemination is a process in which any particular thing, or for example disseminate को disperse के वैसा भी बोल सकते हैं in a way, ठीक है, not the exact meaning, but आप assembly के लिए let's suppose collect हुए थे एक साथ, you know came together in one place for an assembly, and later on you dispersed. So it is not exactly the literal meaning. Dissemination is that something that is used in a more biological sense, yeah, mostly related to the human body and living organisms, but dissemination essentially means the same thing. It is spreading around, okay. Pyemia is a condition in which there are small septic thrombi. Now, what is septic thrombi? First of all, what is a thrombus? Okay. Thrombus is essentially a clot. Okay. Septic thrombi are thrombi which have bacteria on it. मतलब ये ऐसे क्लॉट है जिनके ऊपर बैक्टीरिया, they are basically hitching a ride on the thrombus. Okay. They are treating the thrombus as a taxi. So septic thrombi or thrombi which have bacteria on them, quite a lot of bacteria on them. In pyemia, there'll be several such small septic thrombi, and they'll start disseminating all around in your blood. ये क्यों हो रहा? This is the result of inflammatory process. The two failed inflammatory process. Inflammation essentially is a process in which your body is trying to kill the bacteria and stop its spread. अब कभी-कभी क्या होता? When it is trying to stop the bacteria, that bacteria will be very smart. It will keep on dividing, and it will try to get out of the tissue wherever it is infecting into the blood. Once it enters blood, that is when you start seeing septicemia. And because there is injury, you will always have thrombocytes clogging that area. Platelets, they will essentially, अगर जहां पर भी blood vessel में injury हुआ, these platelets will come and try to block that area. They will try to create a clog, and they'll try to create a clog, and they'll clot, sorry, and they will try to stop the bleeding. अब यहाँ पर क्या होता है, ये bacteria, they'll take advantage of that chance, and they will go and hook for themselves onto that bacteria. And eventually what will happen is, as these thrombi are getting disseminated because of the flow of blood, those bacteria also will get a free ride. They will go wherever they want to. That condition where you have small septic thrombi in the blood, okay, which will cause other effects. Wherever these bacteria are going and getting lost, they will start causing other effects. Okay. Especially you will see septic infarcts, and you will see pyemic abscesses, meaning they will start causing abscesses in various parts of the body, and they will start causing infarcts. Infarcts are essentially, infarct is a condition in which a thrombus is blocking the blood flow and oxygen to a particular part. Okay. Now, infarct क्या रहता बोले तो, let's suppose there is an organ like this. I'm just giving you an example, okay? Now, let's suppose in this organ, the main blood supplies from this blood vessel. Infarct will be what will happen to this particular tissue or this particular organ when this blood supply is stopped, or this blood supply becomes very, very thin. Okay? This thinning of blood supply can happen because of thrombus, or it can happen because of thrombi. Especially agar this blood vessel is a arteriole or venule, meaning it's a very small blood vessel, and that blood vessel is getting blocked by that thrombi. तो या तो आपके पास septic thrombi हो सकते हैं, या septic infarcts हो सकते हैं. Pyemic abscesses caused by septic thrombus, wherein those abscesses are forming because those bacteria are moving around your body, and wherever they are going, they are causing an inflammatory reaction, and they are leading to an abscess there. That is one problem. ठीक है, जनरली आपके सेरिब्रल कॉर्टेक्स में या मायोकार्डियम में या फिर लंग्स, रीनल कॉर्टेक्स, all of these area, they will have small emboli, like small fragments of these septic thrombus, and the bacteria that are transferring from this septic thrombus, they will cause damage there. They will lead to an inflammatory reaction there, and they will ultimately cause this abscess is there. Another problem is these thrombosis might go into smaller blood vessels and they might cause a septic infarct. Okay, and which can lead to necrosis of this organ, whichever is getting affected. So those are morphological features of acute inflammation. Okay, so pseudomembranous inflammation, ulcer, suppuration, cellulitis, and bacterial infection of blood. Those are the five main morphological features of acute inflammation. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. If you want me to repeat anything, please feel free to ask. And I'll move on. Okay. Now, there are a few systemic effects of acute inflammation. Four actually. Very common systemic effects that you will see because of acute inflammation. The first one is fever. Temperature will spike. Okay. You will see leukocytosis. Leukocytosis is increasing WBC level. Okay. Any and all type of WBCs will start increasing. Especially you will see neutrophilic leukocytosis where neutrophil number is increasing. You might see lymphangitis. Your lymph vessels, your lymphatic system in general will start getting inflamed. Especially lymphangitis कौन से type का, you will see lymphadenitis. Lymphadenitis is inflammation of your lymph node. One or two or more lymph nodes will start getting inflamed. ये inflammation इसलिए हो रहा क्योंकि once a bacteria enters your blood, it has the capacity to enter into your lymph nodes as well. Okay, it will go anywhere it wants to, and that bacteria can ultimately lead to inflammation of your lymphatic systems as well. And finally, it can also cause shock. Okay, now this will mainly cause septic shock, but we'll discuss about shock and the types of shock some other day. This is not an electric shock. Okay, it's a different type of shock. So these are the four main systemic effects that will occur in acute inflammation. There will be fever, there will be leukocytosis, there will be lymphadenitis, and shock. The results of the fate of acute inflammation, meaning what happens after acute inflammation. Any one of these four things can happen. First is resolution, wherein the causative agent is completely, killed and the causative agent is completely taken care of and the cell is going back to normal. That is resolution. Then you can have healing by scarring. This will occur in a slightly more, severe type of injury where your normal epithelium or your normal cells are not able to divide enough, and collagen will come into picture, and you will have scarring being formed. बहुत बड़ी injury है तो scarring will occur, and your cell will heal. The tissue will heal. Sometimes another fate is suppuration. Abscesses are formed, pus gets accumulated, and all of that will occur. Finally, if any one of these fates are not occurring, it will lead to chronic inflammation. Okay? So that is the fate of acute inflammation. Once acute inflammation occurs in a patient, any one of these four can occur. या तो the acute inflammation is completely resolved and the tissue go back to normalcy, या फिर the tissue is severely damaged wherein there needs to be collagen getting involved in the repair, and it will not be regeneration anymore, it will be repair now, wherein scarring is occurring. अगर वो भी नहीं उससे ज्यादा सिवियर हो रहा तो suppuration होता है where abscesses are being formed and pus is getting collected. If even that is the causative agent persists even after suppuration, that is when chronic inflammation occurs. Okay. Now move on to chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation क्या है? Chronic inflammation is essentially the prolongation of acute. More often than not, what happens is there is a cause of injury. So let's suppose we continue with our bacteria. There's a bacteria that caused acute inflammation. If that bacteria is not killed or that problem is not resolved in time, what will happen is this will progress from acute inflammation into chronic inflammation. Okay? It will start causing severe damage and will start affecting other organs as well. That is a condition when chronic inflammation occurs. Chronic inflammation तीन तरीकों से हो सकता है. One is it is following acute inflammation. ठीक है? So acute then chronic हो सकता. That is one way. Or else there is recurrent attacks of acute. Again and again, a patient is having same type of acute inflammatory reaction. Let's suppose there is a particular type of disease or a particular type of infection that the person is getting again and again. That will be repeated bouts of or repeated attacks of acute inflammation. Or third way wherein a person can get chronic inflammation is immunity, especially autoimmunity. Autoimmunity is a special condition in which what happens is your own immune cells are attacking your cells. ठीक है, आपके WBCs, आपके immunoglobulins, they start attacking normal cells in your body. They think that your normal cells are pathogens and they'll start killing your cells. That is when chronic inflammation can occur. ठीक है, autoimmune disorders जो बोलते हैं वो इसमें ही आता, chronic inflammatory disorders. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the general features of chronic inflammation tomorrow. What are the cells involved? What happens in chronic inflammation and all that. Hope you understood this class. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. Morphology of acute inflammation, yeah, systemic effects, yeah, fate of this thing.